My capstone project. I'm going to talk about 2 different psychologists and then how their theories work, what's the failure and success of them, and then how they go together. So first I'm going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He made this nice little pyramid chart and how they work. So the basic psychological starts in infancy, and even before that, in the womb, and what we need to survive. Then we go to safety, which in order to get to safety, we have to go through the basic and succeed at that. If not, we stay in the basic stage. So next we go to safety, which is toddler age area, where we feel safe with our parents and rules start to form, etc. Then we get to love and belonging, which is the next stage, which can happen, is crucial in early childhood to feel loved and accepted from our parents, peers, friends, etc. And if this doesn't work properly, this is where people get stuck in this phase where they get stuck in relationships that never work out and are always looking for love and belonging. Then we get to esteem, which is the next phase, which some people don't get to till they're in their 50s, 60s. Some people get to it in their 40s. Some people get it to their 30s. It all depends on the person. And this is our self-worth, our self-esteem, all of that, how we look at ourselves. Then we get to self-actualization. This is the top. This is what we all strive to achieve for. Not many people get there. This, according to Maslow, is we no longer need the love and respect from our children because we already know that we have it. We're so self-fulfilled that we don't worry about what other people think. Next, we're going to go to Freud. So, with Maslow, in order to succeed, for success, we go from each stage to the next to the next. Sometimes we can fail if there's a divorce or loss of jobs, and we'll go back down in steps. So the whole success is to continue to go all the way to self-actualization. Failure would just be staying in the same state, in the stage that we're at. We wouldn't continue to go on. So next we have Freud's psychosexual stages, okay? So the oral stage starts in the womb, sucking on our thumb in the womb. We see this in sonograms. Then you get to infancy, where we're sucking a pacifiers, nipples, everything, putting in our mouth. I have a 10-month-old who does this, puts everything in his mouth. So in order to do that, success would be going on to the next stage, which is the anal stage. Failure would be having an oral fixation, where you're, as an adult, biting your nails, you're smoking, you're chewing on things, etc., biting other people. You can have that problem going into toddlerhood. We see it all the time. The next stage is the anal phase, which we see from ages 1 to 3. This is where they have an obsession with touching themselves. We see this in a lot of children, where they have their hands in their pants. This is where they are learning to getting pleasure from having bowel movements and being able to control them. Failure in this stage would be having an anal retentive personality, OCD, constantly needing cleanliness and control. This can happen from your parents being too overbearing in potty training or not enough. Then we go to the phallic stage. This is ages 3 to 6. My 6-year-old is in this stage right now, where he's obsessed with his mother. This is where boys go through an Oedipus complex. I don't know if I said that right. Where they want to kill their father and be in love with their mother. Girls go through electrica phase or state complex, which is the same thing, but wanting penis envy and wanting to kill their mother to be with their father. This is a really important phase. Failure in this phase can really drastically change you. This is where if failure in this phase would be, according to Freud, homophobia, homosexuality, having an obsession with guns, guilt, sin, anything bad mainly comes from this phase. Then we get to the latency phase. This is ages 6 to 11. My 9-year-old's in this right now, where he's obsessed with sports and academics, and that's where his fulfillment is. Success in the stage is going through this. Failure would be, there's not really much failure in the stage, I guess, so to speak, just because all your sexual feelings are suppressed until you get to puberty. This isn't really a sexual phase. So then if you go through that phase, great. Then you get to the genital phase, which starts in adolescence and goes all the way through adulthood. All the way. Emerging adulthood, death, dying, the whole 9 yards. In this stage, this is where our genitals come into play. They're the basis of our life, pretty much. This is where our heterosexual relationships start. So if there was a problem, then this is where it would come from with heterosexual relationships, according to Freud. According to Freud, if you go through all these steps in the right manner and don't have any problems, you should have no consequences. If for some reason you have a fixation in one of these stages, this can be cause really drastic conflicts in your life. Freud said that these are our unconscious thoughts and conflicts that we go through. So that's what Freud says. Okay, so next I'm going to compare the two and how they work. So the oral for Freud kind of goes with Maslow's basic because they're both our basic needs. Oral, fixation, feeding, basic need. We need to eat. Anal, if you have problems in the anal stage, you have issues with safety. Your parents are too controlling, you don't feel safe around them, you don't feel like you can talk to them. They're just too controlling and you need that control. So if you have an issue, you need control all the time and you don't feel safe generally when you need control. The phallic stage goes with love and belonging. The phallic stage, like I said before, is where we fall in love with our parents, or supposedly, according to Freud. That would go with love and belonging. We need to feel love and belonging. And then we get to the latency stage and esteem. The latency stage is around 9 to 10, latency stage is from 6 to 11. Esteem, we go through our whole lives. In the latency, we are trying to figure out who we are, getting involved in academics, getting involved with our friends, getting involved with sports, and that can affect your esteem later in life. Then we get to the genital stage and self-actualization. These are both the last stages for both Freud and Maslow. These are what we succeed and strive for. These stages are what we want to end with. So I think they go together in a sense in the fact that we want to get there. This is what success is. This is what we strive for. So in a sense, Freud and Maslow kind of both, neither one of their theories are based on actual science. They're based on what we go through. And we can all relate to each one for both Freud and Maslow. If we go through each one, we could say, okay, this is what I need. This is how I feel. And with Freud, we see this through children all the time. They go through these stages. So in conclusion, I think that they kind of go hand in hand. They interact with each other. And that's it.